Representing the bay boat category, the young Gulfshore 26 has an overall length of 26 feet 6 inches, a beam of 8 feet 9 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 350. Engineered for both shallow water and blue water fishing, she has a draft of 16 inches, a dead rise of 14 degrees, a weight of 4,500 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 80 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
Guys, we've been on a lot of 26-foot boats over the years. We can honestly say we've never been on one like this.
It's one of a kind, that's for sure, man.
What a perfect layout for having a lot of room, fishing a lot of people. And how do you like sitting up in that raised helm seat?
You know me, and you know how much I love visibility on a boat, Rick. And we saw the young Gulfshore 22 last year, and I love that design. This is just more of the same in a bigger package. I mean, I'm so excited about getting offshore on this thing today and trying to sight fish and sailfish or anything. I just want to go see a fish. I want to spot a fish from up here first.
I like the fact that if you're stepping on a guide boat, everybody has their own seat and you feel comfortable, which you don't get a lot on a guide boat.
Listen guys, this boat's got a lot of possibilities. It's a beautiful day. We got some afternoon thunderstorms to contend with there later on. Let's get after it.
Because the Gulfshore is 26 feet long with a 9-foot beam, she can do inshore and offshore very, very well. She only drafts about 18 inches. And I gotta tell you something, she certainly held her own on the offshore scene.
The unique design of the Gulfshore is actually broken up into 3 distinct separate sections. Let's start at the bow. This is a 26-foot boat. It's a large foredeck that's got enough room for 2 or 3 people to stand up on and fish. Having the ability to put 2 or 3 people on the front of the boat is really useful. You've got people up there sight fishing, casting to fish that they can see, and also taking directions from the guide who's in an elevated position behind him. Among the space underneath the decks, you're going to see 260-quart insulated fish boxes at the center line. There are 2 200-quart boxes for dry storage on the outboard flanks. Also storage for your batteries. The Gulfshore 26 had a 36-volt trolling motor on it, which pulls the boat around fine when you want to sneak up on fish in kind of shallow water or chasing fish on the beach. Also, your anglers have access to 2 7-gallon pitch wells that are located all the way forward underneath the deck as well.
Having that wide open bow with nothing to trip on made it so easy to catch these sailfish today. Everything was wide open. They really utilized every bit of the beam of this boat.
Now moving back into the center section of the boat, you've got a sunken cockpit. Now this is basically used to carry passengers. You know, there's room to stand in there and walk around, but this is a recessed cockpit, and it's got 2x2 individual captain's chairs, LeBrock seats, and there's a row of 2 in the front and a row of 2 behind that.
Every one of the seats had its own storage facility right under it. I knew what I'd do. I'd pick out my seat, my tackle go underneath it. Wouldn't anybody have to ask me twice for a D-hooker to get their baits off with.
Now the rear half of the boat is something that I found particularly useful, and this really suits my style of fishing. This is an elevated helm section. The deck is elevated much like the bow, but you've got an elevated riser type of platform with an elevated helm and 2 seats there, one for the helmsman and one for a rider back there. There's also what looks like, but it's not really, a polling platform behind you that had a space to mount the radar antenna, which this boat had on it, and you could climb up there and stand and see even better, or just sit up there if you wanted to. But basically, you're going to be seated at the helm station on this. Now, running the boat from this elevated helm position, the visual height advantage is noticeably improved. You're going to be able to see things that there's no way you're going to see from down on the deck. It's going to be much easier for you to spot a fish and point it out to your anglers located on the bow. The space underneath the deck at the helm position is also very generous. You've got a 50-gallon live well in the center underneath your feet at the helm position. On either side of this 50-gallon well, there's a 30-gallon to port and starboard. 3 great big live wells right there. And behind the live wells in opposite corners are 200-quart dry storage boxes. When you add up all the storage compartments and live well insulated storage that you've got on this boat compared to boats much bigger than her, it's just incredible how much stuff you can put on this boat.
So after fishing on this boat all day, I realized I could not think of a better design to keep 6 people that comfortable on a boat all day, especially catching the fish that we caught today. Young did it right on this Gulfshore 26. Guys, what a day. You had me running all over this boat. I was on the bait going back and forth, and you guys really killed the fish today. It was so much fun.
Trying to see if this boat was going to stand up in the blue water, man, the thing passed the test. The sailfish were everywhere. They cooperated. We were able to see the things, sight cast to them, and catch a couple. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Well, it couldn't. They obviously had never seen it before because they kept coming by to have a look.
Yeah, listen, the boat ran great. I mean, everything we needed was on board. It was just, I mean, it's a win-win.
You need a good boat for fishing back in the mangroves or throwing in a tail and billfish, the Gulfshore 26 is one you need to look at.